This is RadioOnFire.com, where social networks meet talk radio. I'm your host, Pebbles. Thank you for logging on and tuning in. Radio on Fire is your home for the hottest news, entertainment, and sports. This is R&B Divas LA post show, and the show's getting interesting. Okay, I hope you guys are tuning in. Weekly. From previews, it's gonna get a little interesting. So I'm just gonna get on down into the show. It started off, with the ladies going to the spa. It was only Leela, Shantae, and Chrisette. And they went to get all dolled up, the pedicures and all. And they were just having a little girl talk. Leela has a little, I'm sorry, not Leela. Chrisette has this show coming up. And it's a live performance. And she would like for the divas to all be there to support her. Now, I was listening to Shantae. Okay. If you guys listened to the last episode, starting to think Shantae is going to be a little problem on this season, but I'm trying to be patient and wait. But she let her know that there was going to be, the sound wasn't as good in the Savoy because that's where the concert is. Okay. That was a bit of good information, I would say. But anyway, like I said, she invited all the divas to come to the show, which happens later on down in the episode. So I'm going to move on to Lil Mo. Now her and Claudette seems to be a little close. So, she invited Claudette over to her house and she just wanted to talk to her about her, her marriage, the whole separation from Philip. And she said she noticed that her daughter Heaven, had been acting out. She seemed to be acting out since the separation. And she didn't know what to say to the kid. She felt like she needed to talk to him, but she didn't know what to say. So, later she talked to the kids. She sat them down and she explained to them. First she asked questions. She asked little Justin about, how he feel, about seeing his dad. And he was like, he wanted to see him every day, which is understandable to, a child. Like, they want to see their dad every day. And this part really touched me. I've never been in a situation, but she had to sit down and have this conversation with her kids. And when she got to Heaven, she told her, she saw her text, because she sent out a text saying that mommy was miserable or something. And, it touched Mo, and, it hurt her to see that her daughter was feeling this way. Now, Heaven says that she didn't like the way that Philip treated her. And both girls were saying that, they would see her crying and they didn't like that. So, ladies, pay attention. Fellas as well, if you're listening. When you're going through something, when you think you're hiding it from your children, you really are not. You're not hiding it from your children. Your children know when you're going through. Your children know when you're in pain. And clearly these girls knew that their mother was going through something. Mo thought she was hiding it and covering it up, but no. The kids saw through that. They knew she was hurting, and, it affected them. And during this conversation, she finds out that Heaven never liked her husband. Now that's serious. That is really serious. So I'm not saying, you need to stay with your child's father. I didn't. So I'm not saying that. What I am saying is it's a good thing to have a conversation with your child before you just, you've been dating a guy, your children haven't met, and then boom, you bring them to you and bring them to the kids and say, hey, this is your stepfather, we're getting married. Now, not saying that Mo did that. I don't know how she did that. I don't know. And one thing for sure, if you heard the season premiere review, then you know that I'm not going to talk bad about Mo. That's my girl. I'm the number one fan. That's my girl. I'm not going to say nothing negative. I'm just saying for any ladies, not okay, your children don't dictate who you be with, but make sure, just see if your children like them. Like, she didn't know that Heaven didn't like him, and she found that out during that conversation. And that I'm sure the look on her face was just like, damn, really? So just talk to your kids. They'll tell you more than you think that they will. So I'm moving right along to Shantae. She's not my favorite this season so far. She's back in the studio. Hopefully she'll have an album. I've been watching these reality shows and people stay in the studio, but they never have an album. Please release an album. But anyway, she's in the studio with her manager and a producer, I believe. And the manager, they were talking about record sales and they don't want the album to flop and this, that, and the other. And, the manager suggests that she bring the Divas on for like a ladies' anthem. And they all thought it was a good idea. So later on in the episode, Shantae brings the idea to the ladies. And, the Divas is like, yeah, okay, that sounds good, So they end up with Shantae in a session. And within the session, Shantae is telling them their parts and what it is that they're supposed to say. So Chrisette Michelle is like looking around like, what's going on? Like, I'm not really feeling this. So she asks, like, what are we singing, backup? So Shantae is looking like, well, no. Listen, you have them singing backup, okay? You did not ask them to come over and say, right, what? You let them say right 2 times. You let them do this little part. That's backup. Maybe she doesn't realize it or does not want to realize it, but she's trying to have them sing backup. And in the meeting, they were all talking and it was like, oh, well, so we can be creative. We can do verses and this. And she was agreeing to these things. And then when they get there to the session, it's something else. So when they went to the green screen, Mo said, like, yes, because Chrisette said exactly what she was thinking. She didn't say it at the time, but she said what Mo was thinking. So when Chrisette turned around to the manager, she said, well, I've never sang backup before. So, they green screen Miss Shantae, and she says, well, I don't know what she means. I've sang backup for Patti LaBelle. Girl, please, scratch that. Who cares that you sang backup for Patti LaBelle or anybody? That's not what the point was. The meeting was not about them singing backup for you. This is looking like a Faith Evans or Kelly Price type thing. Okay? These R&B divas, I don't know. I said it before and I'll say it again. Shantae Moore is becoming more and more of my least favorite. Okay? So anyway, they went on, they went in the booth. They talked a little bit, but then the ladies went on in the booth and they said their parts or whatever. And then Shantae Moore asked Chrisette that she wanted to add something. She let her add something, but Shantae felt like they were giving her this body language, like they didn't really want to be there and, all this other stuff. But just remember what happened before they went in to lay down whatever they were going to lay down. You made it seem like it was a joint thing when really you just wanted them for backup singers, and that's it. That's how I took it. That's what I saw. I don't know who else saw something different. If you saw it different, make sure you let me know that you saw it different. But moving right along, Chrisette she did her live show. Things were not going as planned, and like the party promoter was trying to change the time that she went on. She really wasn't feeling it, but she let her manager, which is her mother, she let her know, like, listen, if I don't go on at this agreed time, I will leave. I will not do this performance. I will leave. So being that her manager is her mother, she knows that she will leave if things are not right. So she went out, she talked to whomever, I guess things went on as planned. And during her performance, which she has such a beautiful voice, during her performance, her earpiece went out, and you could tell. And yes, here comes Shantae on the green screen, you know. She wanted to try to give a compliment, but I felt like it was shade. I was looking for my sunglasses because the chick was throwing shade, in my opinion. She didn't let that earpiece get to her, which I'm glad she didn't, because that would be something for Shantae to talk about. But she rocked that stage. She did her thing. Great job, Chrisette. Now, Leela, wasn't too much going on. You know, like all the ladies were at Chrisette's live performance. But it wasn't too much going on as far as Leela James this episode. And she went to get her first tat, which I thought was hilarious. I have many tats. I have about 12 or more. I still have a few to get. But anyway, she went to get her first tat, which was the music note. But she was scared. She yelled, and it was all comical. It wasn't a, she was crying type thing, but it was interesting and it was funny. So funny that Chrisette was on the floor laughing. It definitely was funny. But she left with her music note. It's not a big tattoo. It's small. And it was cute. Claudette is a sweetheart. I can't say anything bad about her. They all met up with Claudette's friend about the Puerto Rico show. And the guy was talking to him about the song. Let him know everything that was going to go on. And they talked about the song, the commercial, doing a photo shoot. And, all of that. Sound good to everyone. But of course, I gotta love Mo. My favorite. She is hood. She's definitely hood. And I like that about her. Sorry, I just do. And she said, well, dang, I'm not going to be able to get no tan. I'm going to be over there working, work. They only have 8 weeks. And she said, in artist time, 8 weeks is 2 weeks. I'm not an artist, so I have no clue. But if you're an artist and you're listening, then you know that 8 weeks is like 2 weeks to an artist. And, she was like, well, wait a minute. Let's talk about the money. We didn't hear anything about the money. They may know about the money, but the fans and the people watching, we don't know anything about the money. I would love to know how much he's trying to pay them to go over there and do a song. They have to do a song, a show, perform this song. He wants a commercial, a photo shoot. I would love to know how much they're being paid. Who else would love to know? Moving on to last but not least, Miss Chalet. She wasn't too active in this episode as well. She apparently is really, since the monologue, she's really dealing with her suicide attempt. And she met up with Tony Cornelius, Don Cornelius' son, and she was supposed to do her PSA, her public service announcement, for those who don't know. And she was unable to complete it as far as what we saw on the screen, what they allowed us to see. She was unable to do it. She started out talking, but she broke down. She's really still dealing with that, and I hope and pray that she's getting counseling. And if she's not, she needs to start getting counseling. I haven't been in a situation where I've attempted suicide, and I don't know anyone that has, but just to watch her, she's in pain, she's torn, she's hurt. She definitely needs counseling. And if you're listening to the show, to the review, or if you're even watching R&B Divas, if you're dealing with thoughts of possibly committing suicide, then I need you to reach out to someone. If you can't research a number on your own, if you like I said, if you can't reach out on your own, talk to a friend. If you feeling like, you don't want anyone to know that you're going with that, that you need that counseling, you don't want anyone to know, what I'll do is I'll post on my IG and on my Twitter, I'll post a 1-800 contact number for people who are dealing with suicide. If you're having suicidal thoughts, you need someone to talk to. And if you want to remain anonymous, that's cool and that's fine. But me, Pebbles, I'm going to post a 1-800 number, a toll-free number that you can call from anywhere for free for you to call and have someone to talk to. I'll post that soon. Within a day or two, I'll make sure it's at least more than one number so you can call in and get any help that you may need. And that's my part. I feel in my heart to do that because I see how Michelle, this is really on her. It's hard for her, I can see. And I know she needs counseling. I know this happened a little while ago, but I really feel like she's not getting any counseling. She needs some counseling. She was torn in that in front of, I think they was doing it in front of a green screen. But in any event, they had to stop and she had to be talked to. And she was just like, what would I have done? I thought I would make it better for my kids and I would have left them. And, she's still going through. So, although her voice is squeaky, okay, so what? I hear things about my voice being raspy. I'm fine with my voice. And I'm sure she's fine with her. She's had to live with it this long. But when I know I had things to say about her voice, but her attempting suicide, I hear that louder than her squeaky voice. So if there's anyone who's having suicidal thoughts and don't want to go to your friend or family member, I will be posting a number, a suicide hotline with a toll-free number so that you can call and have someone to talk to. So now next week is going to be interesting from the previews. The show is getting interesting. Okay. Of course, this is my last time saying this on this episode, but Shantae is definitely, okay, no ifs, ands, or buts. She is definitely on her way to being my least favorite. She is the new Kelly Price. Okay. I'm sure some of you can agree with me. She is the new Kelly Price. She throws shade. Serious shade. Okay, ladies. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So, make sure you tune in next week to R&B Divas LA. And also make sure you tune in to the review. I'll be right here with my review and my thoughts. And while the show is on, you can also tweet with me live because I'll definitely be on there while the show is going on. And you can follow me on Twitter at Tweets by Pebbles. I'm on Instagram at Pebbles_page. That does it for this week's review of R&B Divas LA. Thank you for listening. Remember, get Radio on Fire on demand anytime and anywhere. Just log on to radioonfire.com and download the Stitcher app for iOS, Android, Nook, iPad, and in over 4 million car dashboards. Radio on Fire also broadcasts on iTunes, YouTube, and other digital outlets. So please take a moment and give us a 5-star rating or review. It really helps our rankings. Now, this has been the R&B Divas LA review. Make sure you tune in next week. Okay? And I'm signing out. RadioOnFire.com, where social networks meet talk radio.